Here we have the Planet IGUP-805AT media converter. Let's see what we get in the box. Now here we have the manual. You'll find the information regarding installation and how the device works in here. Over here we have a wall mounting plate with screws to wall mount the converter. There is also an RJ45 dust cap in there. Here we have the device itself. On the front we have an RJ45 port capable of 10, 100, 1000 base. It also does power over Ethernet with a maximum output of 95 watts. The LNK ACT LED above the port tells us if the SFP port or RJ45 port is successfully connected to the network. Above this we have the SFP port covered by a dust cap. This keeps the dust from getting in. This port is capable of doing speeds of up to 100, 1000 base. And if we move closer to the top of the device, you can see that there are LED indicators. The P1 and P2 LEDs tell us if the device is successfully being powered on pairs 1 and 2 and also 5 and 6 via the terminal block. The fault LED tells us whether there are any issues with power or if there are any issues with how the SFP has been linked to the network. The wattage LEDs give us an idea of the power over Ethernet usage. For example, if the 60 watt LED lights up, this tells us that the device is outputting 60 watts and above. However, if the 60 watt LED flashes instead, this tells us that the device is outputting less than 60 watts. Moving on to the top of the converter, we see that there is a screw for grounding, a terminal block, and some dip switches. The screw to the far left is for grounding the converter. This protects it from any sudden surges that might damage the device. Next to it we have a terminal block with 6 screws. These can be divided into pairs as they both have a negative and positive output for their specific function. As mentioned earlier, 1 and 2 together with 5 and 6 provide power to the device. And 3 and 4 is used to indicate whether there is a fault with power or if there is an issue with the SFP link to the network. Now next to the terminal there are 2 dip switches. These 2 switches enable extra functions for the converter. Switch 1 activates a mode known as LFPP. This function disables the RJ45 port if it detects that the SFP port link to the network is down. Switch 2 enables a legacy mode. This allows the converter to become compatible with devices that use older standards than the IEEE standard. Finally, on the back, we have a DIN rail for mounting the device. And that pretty much sums up the IGUP-805AT.